sports talking heads make predictions, then hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackie and Judd.
Write this down.
This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions.
Write that down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
Yep. We are the only show in America that has the cojones to put our reputations on the line every single week. That's right. The Sam Cassell Big Cojones dance every Wednesday on Mackie and Judd and on Purple Daily. Here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, send us a message through the Score North app. Before we get into the accountability session, today's Write That Down session. And by the way, Mike is our guest listener predictor. Our session today brought to you by our friends at Golf USA. Declan?
Yeah, Golf USA in Eden Prairie is celebrating their 20th anniversary with a huge store-wide sale now through Saturday. It's the best deals, all under one roof, on over 10,000 items, new and used. You need a new bag? They got it. You need new grip installations? They have it. And a huge selection of clothing and shoes with some of the best savings you will see all year. I just like to look good when I golf. The game will eventually come around, like maybe 5 to 10 years from now. Maybe.
Probably.
But I will look good doing it, and my friends at Golf USA are helping me out. Go see them this weekend. They're on the corner of Prairie Center and Flying Cloud Drive. Golf USA.
All right, boys, let's get into it here.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
The accountability session, where all of our truths come to the surface, where reality slaps us in the face. Kind of like it did for Judd here. Judd, not a bad week. You had 2 things come off the board. A little split here for you. You said Cat will score 20 or more points in each of the Timberwolves playoff games.
Was that much to ask? Like, really? Was that much? Yeah. Like, was I going out on a limb by asking the star player of the Wolves to score 20 or more points?
Well, I mean, it would be one thing if there was, if he was having a great series and in one of the games he scored 18 and grabbed 18 rebounds or something. But yeah, he disappeared a couple times. You did correctly say, however, the Wolves and Grizzlies would go at least 6 games.
Very nice.
So nice job there.
Thank you.
All right, I had 3 things come off the board. I said Byron Buxton will hit a home run in his first game back from injury. He didn't, but then he hit like 3 in the next 2 games. So my radar was honed. But
your intentions were good.
Yep. I said the Wolves would win game 3 and D'Lo would score at least 25 points in that game. Let me tell you a little story about a bad beat here. So the Timberwolves had a 26-point lead in Game 3, and D'Lo had 22 points going into the fourth quarter and did not score, and they lost.
Join the club.
Rough.
But
I did say going into Game 5 before the series, the Wolves would either be tied or leading the series, and they were tied going into Game 5. So there you have it.
Nice.
All right, the listeners had a nice little week here. We'll start with the bad. Reed said the Wild will win the division and make it past the first round of the playoffs. They are not going to win their division, right? They
Correct.
They cannot mathematically win the division.
Yep.
But Sampson came back in here swinging for the fences. He said Anthony Edwards will lead the Timberwolves before the season. He will lead the Timberwolves to more playoff wins this season than Jimmy Butler ever did. So 2 playoff wins or more, and they did.
They did.
Little home run there for Sampson. And Drew P. said before the season, actually he said this, I think 2 years ago, because he said in the next full NHL season,
I remember this, yeah.
Kaprizov and Fiala will combine for 50 or more goals, and they have a lot more than that.
Very nice.
I mean, hell, Kaprizov might get 50 on his own without Fiala. Fiala's got, what, 33?
Yeah.
Something like that. Over to Kaprizov, back to Fiala.
All right, man.
Back to Kaprizov.
Never fails to get a chuckle.
Oh.
All right, Declan. Nice week for Declan ultimately here. We'll start with the bad. You said Wolves will win at least one of the next 2 games against Memphis by 10 points or more, and that did not happen.
Yeah, talking about bad beats. Game 3, that was on track to crush.
You said the Wolves will not lose another game against Memphis.
Wolves in 4.
Wolves in 7. And you said Cat will score at least 50 points combined in the first 2 games of the series. He had a terrible game 2 and did not happen. But I think both these are home runs. You said the Wild will host the Blues in the first round of the playoffs, and you said that almost 3 months ago on February 9th. I think pinpointing it on February 9th is home run worthy here. Judd?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm trying to remember what the situation was, but that's all. Yeah, that's quite a while ago.
It's
a lot
I would
of
say a home run. I would say a home run.
They were swooning in February.
Yeah, I think
they were swooning.
Yeah, it's borderline probably, but it's fair. The next one,
Marpot.
I think this
is a home run.
I think this is a home run because unless you're fighting me on this, you said Kevin Fiala and Kirill Kaprizov will each score at least 30 goals. I mean, Fiala had never scored 30 in a season, so
that's a home run.
Yeah.
That's more, in my opinion, a home run than the first home run.
Okay. So there you have it. Nice job, Declan, with a couple bombs. And so he is just dominating. Write that down this year. God. 480 batting average and 7 bombs. Judd's at 326 with 3 bombs.
Cool.
I'm at 358 with 3 bombs. And listeners are at 333 with 6 home runs. So the listeners are having a nice little season as well.
This is fun.
Scathing start.
Dude, this is good. Now, don't forget, Dex, though, the Zolgad swoon of last year, which is coming for you when it gets rocky. See, this is the thing. I'm the Grizzlies. I'm not perfect, but I'm damn tough, and I fight back.
So all-time, Judd has 220 hits career since 2018, which is when we started keeping track of stats officially. And listeners have 25 home runs, which is by far and away the lead over the 18 home runs that Judd and I
swinging from the heels, man.
Have. So there you go. Yeah. All right, let's bring him in here. Representing the guest listener prediction pool, Mike is our guest listener predictor.
Mike
today. Mike, what's going on, man? This is your first time stepping up to the plate in the big leagues of Write That Down. How do you feel right now?
Very calm.
Hopefully more calm than the Timberwolves felt last night as they were blowing another double-digit lead.
The mechanism, Mike. Clear the mechanism.
So, all right,
one of
Mike.
my favorite movies, Judd.
Is it really?
Dude, underrated sports movie.
That film.
Little do you know that was for love of the game.
Yep.
And little do you know that I do some music composing and arranging, and I arranged the main theme for that film as the processional for my wedding 16 years ago.
Wow, dude. That's awesome.
That's
who knew that a simple flippant statement by me would lead to a great story?
It's a great movie. It is. It's a little bit more of like a romantic movie than it is a sports movie. I think some people
it's a modern version. It's a more modern version of The Natural. It's the same kind of movie as The Natural was. It's a baseball movie that's not in the first place about baseball.
Yep.
No, that makes it so great.
Yep. I love it. For Love of the Game doesn't get enough respect, man. I'm glad that Mike is in tune with one of the most underrated sports movies.
Costner's best, though. Bull Durham.
It's pretty good.
Such a good movie.
That's pretty good. He wasn't clearing the mechanism, though, in Bull Durham. So, all right, Mike. So you're gonna lead us off here, and we're gonna go around the room 3 times, so to speak. The predictions must be quantifiable. That's pretty much the only
Write this down.
Real rule here. So why don't you start us off with your first prediction?
Okay. Well, I'll preface this by saying that I'm a huge Timberwolves fan and season ticket holder, and I could not bring myself to write down any predictions about the Timberwolves. Like anything could happen. It's so uncertain. So I'll preface that with an apology that there are no Timberwolves predictions in here. But I have a short-term, a medium-term, and a long-term prediction. The short-term prediction is that the Vikings will draft a safety with their first pick in the 2022 NFL draft.
Okay.
Ooh.
So off the record, you think Kyle Hamilton might fall into their laps?
Or they trade down for the second safety. Like when that first pick happens, I'm not making any prediction on, right? But I'm just saying their first pick will be a safety.
Okay. Or, they trade their first and second round picks for Deebo Samuel, and then their third round pick is a safety. You would still win.
Right.
Just going to float that out there.
Mike is playing the game.
Who knows?
Speculation.
Yep. All right. Over to Judd, your first prediction.
All right. My first prediction, the Miami Heat will part company with Jimmy Butler this offseason.
Really? What's his contract situation?
I don't know, but the whole thing was
signed a max.
Spolstra. His actwear is thin. He didn't play last night. He was
hurt last night.
It's the playoffs, man.
Think he's
Suck
faking?
it up and play. Yeah,
Wow.
He's just a gong show. He's a great player, but he's a gong show. And I think he is the definition of a shelf life player. And so I think when you basically challenge the coach to a fight, the clock is ticking because Spoelstra's damn good. Like, he's not a slappy. So Jimmy Butler will be moved. Part company is the term I'm going to use for how it's going to happen.
Hey, would
His
you rather
max-
have? Go ahead.
His
Dex.
max starts next season. Like, he just signed a new max.
Okay.
I just think he's a pain
So
in the
this
ass.
would be a home run if it happens.
Yeah,
I
this will
think.
be a home
Yeah.
run.
I think
This will be a
despite
home
the
run.
conflict, I think the Heat kind of love conflict.
Yeah.
So, but would you rather have D'Lo and Pat Beverly or Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy
Oh.
Butler.
I know how
I'd ra-
things.
Jimmy
I know
Butler.
how things
I'd rather have
completely
Butler
nuke between
for-
Butler and Cat, but
I'd rather have Butler for a year, but after that, like, I mean, I have said this for a long time. The dude has psychological problems. Pat Bev is crazy, but I don't know that he is wired completely wrong.
I think Jimmy's a sociopath.
And D'Lo is,
I'm fine with that.
he's got no pulse, but he doesn't threaten you.
Well, I would like if he threatened to make a shot in the fourth quarter once. in a
Yeah.
while.
Write this
Well,
down.
just,
Jimmy
just don't
Butler.
take the shot last night.
8 days
Just
a
don't
week.
take that stupid shot.
Maybe he could threaten to find the open man, and that guy could
Mm-hmm.
shoot. All right, Declan, your first prediction.
All right, a couple wild predictions for me because by the time we do next week's Write That Down, they'll at least have probably played one playoff game. Playoffs start next Monday, so we'll get that schedule here pretty soon. So write this down. The Wild are notoriously a very slow starting playoff team. I think they've only won the first game of a playoff series 3 times, like in their entire franchise history. They are horrible in game 1. But write
right.
this down. The Wild will win game 1 of their playoff series against the Blues.
Okay. Boy, people are going to be fired up if that happens. All right. Do you think winning game 1 is almost essential to beating that team? Like,
Depends where
can
the
you beat
series
that team
is.
4 times in 6 games? You know?
I think
Depends
so.
where the series is. If the series is in St. Louis, which it might be, you've got to get one of those first 2, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. We will have a game 7 in the Wolves-Memphis series.
All right.
We will have a game 7. I don't think the Wolves are going to just concede game 6 at home. I think the crowd's going to be ridiculous. And they just need to not blow these leads.
Mike's like, I can't take that. My heart can't take that.
I'm with Mike.
All right.
Write this
Well, back
down.
to Mike, your second prediction.
So this is my medium-term prediction. I have two operating theories about Minnesota sports after 46 years in this state. One is that at any given time, no more than one Minnesota team can be reasonably doing well at any time, which we, by the way, saw play out again yesterday, right? After
Yep.
it seemed like everything was going well for everybody, then you have 2 just absolute bomb performances and a rando Twins win, right?
Yep.
But my other is that for the last, I don't know how many years, every time we've entered the Twins season, everything the Twins think is in place and going to go right that year goes horribly wrong, and everything they think is really bad somehow does well. So this year we entered the Twins season. What did we think was the bad element of the Twins? Starting pitching, right? And we thought, lineup's going to. Oh my gosh, we added Correa. Lineup's going to be good, and the bullpen should be reasonable, right? And so what's going on? The lineup is trash. The bullpen is iffy, especially with a couple of guys. And the starting pitching is somehow amazing, right? So my medium-term prediction is that by the trade deadline, the Twins will still have a top 15 starting rotation, but a bottom 15 hitting lineup and a bottom 15 bullpen.
So for measurement, can we go OPS for lineup and ERA for pitching, or is there a different
No, that's
measurement?
fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So we'll go OPS for on base plus slugging for the offense, and then ERA for the pitching decks.
Okay.
I like it. No, it's true. We're not even asking for that much. Just a championship for one of the men's teams for the first time in 31 years. It's a long time.
Write this
It's a long
down.
time to go. Judd, your second prediction.
All right. National Hockey League, a prediction for carnage shortly after the season. The Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, and New Jersey Devils will all make coaching changes before next season.
Okay.
So Dallas, Detroit, New Jersey will all make coaching changes before, just to be safe and cover myself, next season.
Okay. And then this is a parlay. Is it a home run? It's a 3-item parlay, but they're all pretty
parlay.
bad teams, pretty underachieving
Yeah, but
teams.
I think I'm predicting 3 though. I'm saying all 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a home run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it.
Write this
Come
down.
We'll take it. Declan,
Give me
your
that.
second prediction.
All right, another wild prediction. I will say this. The Wild won't lose a game on home ice to the Blues in this playoff series. The Wild will not lose a game on home ice at the Xcel Energy Center to the Blues
Interesting.
this series.
So if they can pass the Blues in the standings, then they win the series.
Correct.
Or they need to steal one on the road.
And regardless, if they are the road team,
game
that's
7
fine.
minimum.
They're not going to lose a home game to the Blues.
I like it. Judd, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I feel he tempted fate. I feel like this is like Wolves in 4. I feel like you're tempting fate. You are looking at the hockey gods and sticking your tongue out, and they are going to bite
This is the greatest Wild season of all time, and you are literally dancing on thin ice.
Yes, I am.
You're scared to go out on the pond, even though this is the best skates
I don't
you
like
ever
this.
had.
Don't tempt fate, Declan. You'll
Okay.
learn. Don't
All
tempt
right.
fate.
Write this down.
All right. Write this down. I'm going to go back to the Byron Buxton well here. Byron Buxton, between now and next week's Write That Down, will have at least one more home run in the 7th inning or later. He will have another, some 7th inning or later. I think this is a home run prediction because I'm giving you a specific innings range
I agree.
here.
Yeah.
He will have another home run in the 7th inning or later between now and next week's Write That Down.
Write this down.
All right, back to Mike, your third and final prediction, your long-term prediction here.
Yeah. Okay. Matt Corral, previously of Ole Miss, will go on to have the most successful NFL career of any quarterback in the 2022 NFL draft.
Okay. All right, how do we... Well, that's a long-term one. That's like a
Very
10-year.
long.
We have a couple 10-year
You guys
ones
better
out
keep
there.
the show going. I mean, we have years to redeem this.
I was going to say, I don't like my odds personally, Mike, but I won't speak for my 2 co-hosts.
Well, even if the show isn't going on, we'll still have the Write That Down database. We can still do weekly check-ins on social
Mike
media.
was right back in 2022.
Yeah.
Give him the point.
So what? How are we? So
Yeah.
you say like total wins? Is it passer rating? How would you want to quantify that?
That's a good
QBR.
question. Definitely not wins. That's a terrible
Okay.
quarterback stat. Passer rating doesn't take into account longevity and number of games played, which is a
Yep.
problem.
Yep.
So how about if we do number of games played times passer rating? You see what I'm saying?
I'm
Because
the
math
meme on the
teacher.
internet looking at numbers in the air right now.
This is the Always
what?
Sunny gif.
I'm going to duck out of this part of the conversation.
What if we did
recuse
What if we just
myself.
did touchdown passes?
that could work.
I love
That's
this.
well, I mean, you're only going to get the passes if you play, and the
Yeah.
and the more you play and the longer you play, you're going to accumulate more. I can go
Yep.
for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Touchdown passes. I love the
So
negotiation
Matt
here. to
Corral will
quantify.
have more touchdown passes in his career than any other quarterback coming out of the 2022 draft.
I like it. I love it.
Now let's
Awesome
divide
stuff
that
here.
by games played.
Yeah.
Multiply that, but by the square root of Kirk Cousins' number.
We should come up. We should come up with some sort of formula. But Mike, awesome predictions. I love the short, midterm, and long term. Since you've got this life-changing platform here on Mackie and Jez, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this moment?
Boy, I mean, my life is my wife and kids, so love it. And 26 years of working with students is a joy every day. But I got to go back to I got to go all the way back to my parents because I've grown up as a Minnesota sports fan because they grew me up in Minnesota, you know, and all of the history going all the way back to I think my first negative Minnesota sports memory, we all have them, don't we, was 1987 Darren Nelson dropping the pass, going into the end zone. Remember that, Judd?
Wade Wilson, Washington. Yes, they would have gone to the Super Bowl. Of course I do.
That was my first one.
That was your first one. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Timberwolves going back to 89, you know, that's for watching games in the Metrodome. So I think, I'm still thankful to be a Minnesota sports fan and having grown up here, experienced it all.
Yeah, awesome, Mike. Nice work.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming
Great
on
stuff.
the show today. We'll
Thanks,
do it again
guys.
sometime. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Sounds
There
good.
he is. All right. Guest listener predictor Mike Judd. Let's wrap it up here. Your third
All
and
right.
final.
My final, write that down, is a certain home run if it's right, because it is this. Byron Buxton will hit a home run in the All-Star game. Byron Buxton will have a home run
I
in
like where you're going.
the All-Star game. And yes, I'm putting it, to be very clear, that is the 2022 All-Star game, which I believe is in Dodger Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, that's a great place for Buck to go Hollywood, to go yard in the backyard of Hollywood. I like
And then for his contract to be discussed in depth, because it's
Is he gonna hold out?
reasonable.
He's gonna hold out.
It's so reasonable.
Yeah. All right, Declan.
Write
your
it down.
third
You
and
like
final.
writing things down.
All right. Final prediction from me. A little AEW prediction, Phil. A little AEW prediction from me here. One of my favorites, the DMD, Britt Baker.
Okay.
So she dropped the women's title to Thunder Rosa in a steel cage a few months ago after like almost a full year reign. She had the reign of the women's title. But I'll say this: the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament's going on right now in AEW for the men's and the women's side, and Britt Baker qualified for that. And I believe the winner of those tournaments become the number one contender for the respective men and women's titles in AEW. So I will say this: write this down. Britt Baker will win the women's Owen Hart Memorial Tournament in AEW.
Okay. There is a little AEW
Write it
take.
down. You like writing things
Judd,
down.
what do you think?
I love it.
Think Britt Baker's got it?
Exactly right. Oh, yeah. I've been a Brit fan from way back.
Yeah, me too.
Way
Big
back.
Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Way
Jeb was
back.
a fan of her dentist work before she got into
Yeah.
wrestling, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you were a fan
Yeah,
before
I'm
she
going along
became
with that.
popular.
No
Yep.
question about that.
All right.
Great dentist.
Write this down. It's a final Wolves prediction here. I think Anthony Edwards, even though he's not the type of guy to, have his career train wrecked by a bad defensive play, I think he's going to flush it. But I think he's going to harness the feeling that he blew that game for the Timberwolves by trying to steal that inbounds pass. And he's going to make up for it in game 6 by dropping at least 30 points. So write this down. Anthony Edwards will drop at least 30 points in game 6. Is that a home run if it happens? I mean, he averages like 22. I think it's a home run if he scores 30. It's not likely that he's going to score 30, but you guys tell me.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Another Mauer pot shot. Yeah. I think it's a home.
Wow,
First row
you
in
think
the. I'm fine with that.
And
No,
barely.
it's fine. I had one. I've had a few. I'm off to
It's
a
like that Trout home
tantalizing
run
start here.
check swing from
Wait a minute.
a couple nights back. You check your swing, but you're so strong, the ball just goes out of the
That's
ballpark.
me. Exactly.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Write it
Incredible
down.
home
You
run.
like writing things down.
So there it is. Write that down in an accountability session, the most revolutionary, innovative segment in all of sports media, right
Our
here on
bosses-
Mackey and Judd.
Tell us, stop doing that.
Yeah,
Like,
you guys
we might
are,
have to fire you. And we're like, we basically give them the Carl Anthony Towns shush.
just shush.
Shush. We're still doing it.
Might want to wait next time, Kat. All right. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you guys tomorrow night at Surly Brewing Company for the Surly Purple Daily Draft Party, too. Be there.